So a lot of people come to visit Oregon wine country to go, well, wine tasting. But one of the great things about Oregon is it has hills and vineyards and beautiful views. And a lot of people like going bike riding. And so today we're going to be showing you a company that does both at the same time, which is Windy Road. So I've got Phil and Maya here and Lisa and a couple of other guests who are going to be joining us today, sharing what Windy Roads is. So first stop is going to be at Eminent Domain. So Phil, can you share what Windy Roads is and what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah, so Windy Roads, Lisa and I started this, we do wine tours by bike. We started in 2019, so this is our 6th season. And we're the only tour company in the Yamhill County, at least, that just does.
Really more like the Willamette Valley, right? There's really not anyone else who does that.
Yeah, that's specific to wine tours. And then we just kind of, we love cycling. And so we thought, hey, what a better way to experience. You really get to experience it all with all your senses. The smells are amazing. The views are amazing. The tastes are amazing. There's so much more to see here than just wine, for sure. We like to point that out to people as well. So we just really enjoy being able to share our neighborhood with people from out of town or even people that don't even know wine country.
So where are we going today?
We're going to start at Eminent Domain today, and then we'll ride down Ribbon Ridge Road, and we'll stop at Norris Winery today.
All right. Well, let's go check out Eminent Domain. Let's do it. All right, let's head inside.
So this is Eminent Domain. This is Camille.
Hi, Camille. All right, so what do we got today?
I'm starting you off with our 2023 Rosé. It's made out of Pinot Noir, and the really light color comes from the fact that it's only in the press, and there's no skin contact beyond that, so that Pinot flavor is really intentional to be crisp and dry.
Cheers.
Go check out.
The coast range is in the distance of about 40 miles as the crow flies. And we're here on Ribbon Ridge AVA, and you're looking at these closer hills there would be the Yamhill Carlton AVA.
Wow, this is actually really good wine.
This vineyard has about 5 acres planted, all Pinot Noir, some different clones. So let's go down to the vines and we'll teach you a little bit more about the clones and the harvest process and things like that.
So these are Pinot Noir vines. This is kind of an exciting time because we're starting to see some little clusters starting to be formed. We're going to get some flowers, and then once those flowers bloom, then the grapes will start to be formed under there. So each of these represent a cluster each. In the winter time, we prune them all off, we cut all this off, and so this is the new growth for this year.
How many acres are in the vineyard here?
This is about 5.5 acres.
5.5 acres.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, how many
bottles
bottles of wine
fit in a barrel?
fit in a okay. 400? 500?
300.
300. Oh, okay.
So 50 cases
Wow.
of wine per barrel. So the barrels typically for Pinot here in the valley come from France, and they're used typically 4 to 5 times, and then they get turned into planters or furniture or whatever. So this is a press, and for the rosé that you're drinking, the grapes get pressed off the skins right away, which is why it's just light color. But for the Pinot, they're gonna sit in these fermenters for about 3 weeks on the skins to get the flavor and the color from the skins. And then they go into the press and it presses that juice gently off the skins. After a few years, they don't water anymore. They pull all the irrigation so that the vines have to struggle to grow deep roots to bring the water up, and that just creates more minerality and things in the wine.
So I'm typically not a huge Pinot fan, but this is actually really good. So what do they do to make this taste so good? I know it's a rosé instead of like a dark red, which Pinot normally is, right?
Yes, yeah. So what we do is we just bring it in from the field and we press it immediately in that big press that you saw earlier today. Mm-hmm. And it only takes about 25-30 minutes to press the juice out of that.
Okay.
And that's enough to give a little bit of color from the skin itself. The other thing we do is we pick it a little bit early so that the fruit doesn't get too ripe. So
Okay.
the acidity kind of stays bright on it. And then that results in this really nice, light, bright rosé with these nice citrus notes on it.
Okay. Well, anyone could do that,
Really
then, right?
fresh. Oh yeah, of course.
So, I mean, Eminent Domain, like, that's also kind of a big name out here too, right? So, what makes Eminent Domain so special?
Well, I think the wines really do speak for themselves. It's a beautiful product that we're making here. Ribbon Ridge is a huge AVA, and I think it's really a real sought out place for wine.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like our name because the Eminent Domain. Everyone always asks about it, the name comes from that's our origin story is Eminent Domain. Jeff Meter owned a building in downtown Portland, and the city took that for the light rail in order to go through his building, and so he took the money after a long legal battle. He took the money from that sale and bought this 7-acre property,
Okay.
and then planted the vines. There was nothing here, and so a lot of people love that story.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice play on words because domain is a huge part of
Yes.
a lot of vineyards because it's actually the French word for like family, right?
Well, it's actually like a field or a vineyard that
Oh, is it?
produces its own wine, and so the legal term doesn't have the E. The domain, you're right, is a play on words. It has the E on the end, and so since Eminent Domain was allowed Jeff to purchase this vineyard and property, Eminent Domain it is.
Yeah.
People love
They
it.
make amazing wine.
So here we are, we're going to pour the 2019 estate. And so this represents the vineyard around the tasting room. And we have 5 acres all combined to really be our house style. And it starts at the gate with a Marg clone from Burgundy, France. Then we have a Dijon 115 here that brings in structure and spice. And then the 777 Dijon here tends to bring in floral, aromatic, kind of brighter, sometimes more perfumey elements. So when they're all combined, it's a great sense for the vineyard and our house style. Ribbon Ridge is all marine sedimentary soil. So we're looking at the Coast Range, and we're just 36 miles to the Pacific Ocean. All the shifting of the tectonic plates that created the Coast Range moved ocean floor to mountaintop here. So when we reference our marine sedimentary soil, that's what we're talking about. Ocean floor to mountaintop tends to make for really beautiful, dark fruited, plummy, earthy wines. Ribbon Ridge in particular is famous for having these silky, long finishes on the wine. So that really elegant, lingering element to it makes Ribbon Ridge really unique.
All right, time to go to the bikes.
Let's ride.
All right, so where are we heading next?
We're going to head to Norris Winery, which is a brand new winery that opened last year. It's about 1.5 miles away.
All right, well, let's go and let's get some footage of the way. This is a beautiful scenery. It's incredible.
It's super fun to ride. It's so many beautiful places. In our 1.5 mile that we ride, we'll probably pass at least 10 different vineyards.
Okay.
The Willamette Valley has over 900 vineyards and over 750 wineries.
Wow, and that's really grown then, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Over the
last
past-
15, 20 years it's just exploded.
You know, filming and riding a bike at the same time is a little more challenging than I expected. So who are the people that you typically find come out and do tours with you guys?
Boy, they come from all over the country, really. People who just know about Willamette Valley or really kind of just discovering it and realizing that we have such a great wine country here, such a great product. People are we like the adventurous types. Especially, we get a lot of people that are celebrating like milestone birthdays
Okay.
or anniversaries, friends getting together to explore wine country. A lot of people, like I said, first time here. Few people that have experienced it, but just want to experience it in a different way.
Yeah,
I think riding by bike is just another great way to do it.
yeah. Well, it's nice to like have a bike ride and like have something you're doing along the way too.
Right, yeah.
If you need a reason to exercise.
It does give you a reason.
Yeah.
I know we always tell people, it's kind of like you burn off your wine.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about at the end of the day having too much. But no, everyone's been really fun. Like I said, super adventurous. We're not hardcore. we're not out about, grinding out the miles and see how fast we can go. Really riding by bike, take your time, just soak in the sights and the sounds and the smell, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Another beautiful winery here. And Phil is leaving to go get the van, so we don't have to bike all the way back uphill. Thank you, Phil.
I can't be caught drinking wine here. What are you talking about?
Bye, Bill.
All right, so we are at Norris.
Hello, welcome Norris, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so can you tell us a little bit about your winery?
Yeah, so this property was purchased in '05 and then planted in '07.
Okay.
So the McKinley family purchased the property, and then their son Robert took over the winemaker back in 2020.
Okay. And the
after-
camera might.
Speak up, Amy. So Robert took over as a winemaker back in 2020. He did harvest New Zealand, Australia, California, and then around here before he took over. So we do Pinot Noir and Riesling. So just 12 and a half acres. Everything's estates, so everything is right in front of us.
All right. Let's go check out some wine.
Awesome. Come on in.
All right, so what are we going to try first?
So we are going to dive into 2021 Corey Clone Pinot Noir. So there's about 40% whole cluster, 20% new oak on this one. So Charles Corey, back in the mid-60s, smoked over some clippings from likely France. And then from there, they attempted to figure out what they were, couldn't get definitive answers. So he got to name the wine after himself.
Oh.
So this is Corey Clone Pinot Noir.
All right, let's do it.
Some clippings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this would be like pre-Department of Ag, really cracking down on stuff, and
That's good.
was able
Yeah.
to get some clippings back. So also known as a suitcase clone, which is fun.
So with the whole cluster fermentation, instead of the grapes after they pick them going up a machine called a destemmer that rips the fruit off the stems, they actually ferment the grapes and the stems together in those big stainless steel fermentation tanks like we saw at Eminent Domain. So that actually provides a little bit more tannin to the wine, and then it acts kind of like a natural preservative when they do it that way. So it allows the wines to age a little bit longer and can bring more complexity and things to the wines as well. So that's when you hear whole cluster, it means at least part of it was fermented with the stems on.
All right, so what is this picture up here?
So this is a picture of the Willamette Valley AVA, stands for American Viticultural Area. So it spans from Portland, which is over here, all the way down to Eugene. So you have to kind of invert the map, because going this way right now is north. So we are Ribbon Ridge, which is right there. We used to be part of the Chehalem Mountain, and then in 2005, Ribbon Ridge broke off and became its own sub-AVA, which is fun.
What makes Ribbon Ridge its own AVA, and what's the advantage of it breaking off from the larger?
Yeah. So Ribbon Ridge is known for our soil type, which is marine sedimentary. So very, very well draining. It just kind of crumbles and falls apart. So really well draining. Your roots have to go deep in order to get to water source. So you're getting really well established roots. And Ribbon Ridge is known for those deeper, darker, savory notes that come out of the wines. So you have other areas that are more volcanic that you end up seeing more like ink cherry type of flavor profiles. But Ribbon Ridge really has that deep, dark, savory aspects to the Pinot Noirs that come from this area.
So what are we having next?
We are diving into Riesling, specifically dry Riesling. So this is 2021 dry Riesling. Spends 12 months in Austrian oak and then 12 months in bottle prior to being released. So very, very food-friendly wine. And then the next Riesling that we get into is going to be the estate Riesling, which spends the duration of its life in stainless steel. So it's going to be a drastically different winemaking style that comes off of a way different flavor profile.
This
Oh, for sure.
No, but I like this too.
Yeah.
And Riesling gets a really, really, really bad rap for itself.
I
As
know. I was like,
like,
typically, that's
yeah, it's just everyone. There's that misconception that it's sweet, where you can have Riesling going from bone dry to like absolutely like very sweet.
Oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
So why are the red wines in the wide glasses and the white wines in the narrow ones?
Let's.
And I'll wait for you to come over here and then you can share.
So, you tell me.
Okay, all right.
So,
Pop quiz here.
I want you to smell it, and then swirl it, and then do the same thing with specifically the Riesling glass.
Feels so sophisticated.
You are very fancy.
Okay.
Okay, and then smell, and then swirl.
Swirl and smell. Okay,
So-
that does taste different. Why?
So the glass shape is definitely going to change the profile that you're getting off of it.
Okay.
So you're getting a lot more air movement that's going on in this one
Yeah.
versus this one, so you're more concentrated with that.
And this one feels
versus-
like sweeter, like, and that one feels like, I don't know even how to describe it.
it's just
but
a
I
lot
like
more like open.
Yeah.
That one you get that like concentrated.
Yeah. Okay, well, now I
Profile.
know.
Yeah.
So how would I describe that to my friends and not sound like an idiot?
How I would explain it to friends if they didn't know much about wine is that you get a glass that's smaller in size and it's concentrating all of the lovely smells
Okay.
into a smaller area than what the Burgundy goblet's allowing.
Okay. Yeah, for the red wines, we do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is that?
You want that exchange in oxygen coming with
Okay.
the red wines.
All right, we're gonna go see some more sights on the bikes, and then we're gonna get a ride back up in the van to where we started. Well, Lisa, I noticed these bikes are really easy to ride. I don't know if it's just that they're light or what, but can you share a little bit about the bikes themselves and how you chose them?
Yeah, so we wanted hybrid bikes because we do ride a little bit on gravel, and so we wanted something that was, people could operate on gravel, but also had a little bit more of an upright feel. So we went with hybrid bikes. You're on a bike that's an REI brand bike, which we like because REI has a great service plan. Phil does most of our bike maintenance, but if we have something that goes wrong big, we can take them to REI and they do a great job of servicing them and getting them back to us quickly. So
Okay.
yeah, they're just great little all-around bikes with lots of gears.
No, I'm a little nervous to ask, how much does a bike like this cost?
They were like $600 a piece.
Okay,
Not crazy.
it's not super cheap, but maybe if you're an avid biker, it might not be worth checking out.
Yeah, for sure.
But really, it's something that even if you are an avid biker, you come here because you supply the bikes, you supply the helmets, you even supply water.
Yep.
So, you're gonna have a great experience. It's not like you're riding, some cheap bike.
Right. No, we want good quality bikes. Nothing that's gonna be janky or fall apart as we go. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going right here. All right, we're on to the pavement. So off the gravel, most of our rides are typically mostly on pavement. We try to stay on nice, quiet country roads just to be as safe as we can. So now we should have a nice, smooth ride the rest of the way with lots of beautiful views.
All right, let's go.
So out in front of us is the Dundee Hills. That's where Oregon Pinot kind of started. And we're riding down Ribbon Ridge right now, and we'll head over toward the Chehalem Mountains.
These things get some speed.
Yeah, careful.
All right. We made it. All right, so we're getting our ride back up to the top. How does this typically go?
Yeah, usually at the last winery, everyone will enjoy their wines, and we'll load the bikes up, and then once they're finished, we take them either back to our shop or one of the local hotels if they're staying there.
Okay. Now I heard you guys you'll take people out to like dinner if if like, hey, we're at our hotel now, or
Yeah, we do dinner shuttle service as well. There's not a lot of Uber, there's no Uber out here, and so people often, you know, they've been spending a day drinking in wineries, they like to go out to dinner, and they're safe, they don't want to drive. So they can give us a call. We'd be happy to give you a ride to and from your dinner location.
all right, well, let's head back up.
All right.
Well, that was a lot of fun. That was I've never actually done wine tasting and biking at the same time. Two birds with one stone. So how can people learn more about what you guys do and schedule a tour with you guys?
Probably the easiest way is go to our website, just windyroads.com, and that gives a description of all the different tours that we offer. We also will do custom or private tours as well, and you could shoot us an email, just windyroads@gmail.com for that.
So Lisa, what is the most interesting or funny story from doing a wine tasting bike tour that you've had?
Well, we always have lots of fun and have great guests, but I think kind of one of the fun stories that we had, I had a group of, it was 3 couples that were visiting from Bermuda, and they decided that they wanted to go to one of the distilleries after we'd already been to 3 wineries. So we went in the van, but by the time we finished at the distillery, as I was driving these guests back to their hotel, they were all singing at the top of their lungs. No radio on, just all singing. So I got serenaded by some very tipsy 60-year-olds.
And so what happens if, you know, if someone's riding and they realize like, wow, you know, maybe I have had a little bit too much. Can the people come and ride in the van while everyone else is riding?
So we always have either the van right with us or in close proximity to us, that they can always opt to ride in the van, and we actually reserve the right to tell people that they have to ride in the van if we think that they've had too much to drink. But it honestly doesn't happen very often because you're exercising in between each tasting.
Yeah.
You actually metabolize the alcohol faster, and
interesting.
so generally people feel pretty good to finish out. And then we always pick people up after the 3rd winery anyway. We don't ever ride after the 3rd winery.
So they can go crazy on the 3rd one.
Yeah. Well, apparently you also get a free hat by doing one of these tours. Well, whether you're living in Newberg or you're just visiting, make sure you check out Windy Roads. If you're looking to learn more about other aspects of Newberg, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We've got a ton of other videos about events and just what it's like living in Newberg, tours around town, things like that. So check out one of those videos and subscribe, and I'll catch you for the next video. And thanks guys for joining today.
Thank you.